And still, when we look at all the moves in the Eastern Conference, still, when we look at Miami as the team that was able to represent the East last year in the finals, when we talk about the conference as a whole, we still look at who? The Milwaukee Bucks. And we look at the Boston Celtics as that upper
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Let me talk about ESPN and their agenda against the Miami Heat. Actually, I don't think there's any agenda against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat players, for some reason, have always felt underrated. And Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, for example, I've talked about it. So the thing is, going into a new season or going into the playoffs, people never fancy them to win a championship. And this is happening again. We all know they want to bring in Damian Lillard. And the only way they're going to do that is by losing some key players like Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, or even Duncan Robinson. They've already lost Max Strus and also Gabe Vincent, who was arguably their second best player in their playoff run to the finals last season. Before I talk more about this, let's just listen to what ESPN has been saying about the Miami Heat's chances next season.
And still, when we look at all the moves in the Eastern Conference, still, when we look at Miami as the team that was able to represent the East last year in the finals, when we talk about the conference as a whole, we still look at who? The Milwaukee Bucks. And we look at the Boston Celtics as that upper echelon. Just one more quick note on
but being doubted, right? That's exactly where Miami, that's exactly where Jimmy Butler, that's exactly where this team thrives, Kendrick. And I think, Zach, to your point, we still have questions. What exactly is going on with the Celtics? How's Kristaps Porzingis going to fit? You know, there's been a minor tune-up, right, for Giannis over the summer. How's he going to look coming back? Again, never doubting what Giannis is going to look like. But there feels like there's a little bit of wiggle room perk at the top of the East.
Well, not exactly. It's not too much wiggle room. And look, one thing about it is that I will not come on here and disrespect the Heat culture, Eric Spoelstra, and Jimmy Butler. But I will say this. They're not the favorites, nor would I have them the favorite, even if they picked up Damian Lillard. The Milwaukee Bucks, the way that they're currently constructed, we know what Giannis is going to bring to the table, and let's be honest. Right, part of being able to get to the finals and winning the championship, you have to be lucky with health. And we know that Giannis Antetokounmpo, he missed a few games in that series, and even when he came back, he still wasn't 70% healthy. So now you look at Chris Middleton. He finally get an off season. I have everything invested into the Milwaukee Bucks this upcoming season for us representing the Eastern Conference. I don't want to disrespect the Miami Heat, but even if they get Damian Lillard and they was to face this Milwaukee Bucks team again, I'm picking Milwaukee in the series, and I'm picking Milwaukee to go on to the NBA Finals and represent the East. Well, the way that it's going right now, look, it's three teams that I got my eye on, the big perk eye. And I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Right, you think about it, they brought back that core group in free agency, being able to re-sign Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. Also, we know what Bobby Portis is going to bring to the table. He didn't have his best season last year. He was dealing with injuries. Chris Middleton finally is going to get his legs up under him. And Drew Holiday is going to come back with a vengeance. For the simple fact, he got to remember what Jimmy Butler did to him last postseason. Also, I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns. I don't give a damn how many people are out there talking about how top-heavy they are, but so what? They have three of the most efficient, prolific scorers in the game on one team. Don't give me this nonsense about a point guard, because all of these guys are underrated playmakers. Let's see what happened with the signing of Bo. Can he come in? Can Frank Vogel put him in position to be successful? I'm looking for DeAndre Ayton to come back and show the world who the hell he could be. And at number one, when this list is not in order, I would not disrespect the defending champs.
Okay.
Although Jokic been turning up, I've been watching him flip off canoes and rafting and drinking beer. But guess what? It's first team all whack body, and he still is a problem when it comes to getting buckets. Jamal Murray had a season under him where he looked great in the postseason. He's finally healthy. I'm gonna be looking at him to raise his caliber play up to superstar standards. And then also Caldwell Pope is back. Aaron Gordon is back. We saw last year what Michael Porter Jr. did in the postseason. So those are my top three teams right now that I'm looking at should be the top three favorites for us contending and winning the NBA championship.
You know what? I don't even have any issues with that, Perk.
Yeah, so that's it. And I wanted to say that I don't really disagree with what these guys are saying, because look at the Miami Heat. They are bringing in Damian Lillard. They just lost the entire team that pushed them to the finals last season. As much as Damian Lillard is as good as he is, they still have a lot to figure out. And as they are trying to figure out their situation, we have Boston and the Milwaukee Bucks. Boston just made one change so far. They brought in Kristaps Porzingis. The most important thing the Boston Celtics did is giving Jaylen Brown that max contract, because keeping Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown guarantees them to be competitive in the coming years, so we expect them to be in the conference final, in the final, or even win a championship. Their best player last season was Jason Tatum, then Jaylen Brown, then Derrick White, and all of them are still there. Their coach is in their second season, so we expect the whole team to perform better. And let's not forget that the fact that they didn't get to the finals does not mean that the Miami Heat were way better than them. It was a close series, and also that Jason Tatum injury early in Game 7, I guess we'll never know what could have happened if he was not injured. But anyway, that's not important right now. Okay, the other team is the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks didn't make any changes. They didn't lose any key player. The only change they made is they hired a new coach. And by hiring a new coach, we just don't know how they'll play next season. They can be way better, they can be the same, they can be worse. Okay, I can't see it getting worse than last season. They didn't even make it to the conference finals. I'm basically expecting them to improve. Damian Lillard is a really good scorer. Eric Spoelstra is experienced. He's a fantastic coach. He's very tactical. The Miami Heat, as an organization, have always found a way to make their roster competitive. We all saw what they did last season with the undrafted guys. So the thing is, if they manage to get Damian Lillard, and they also manage to fill up their roster with really good role players like they did last season, then they will probably win the championship next season. Okay, I've only talked about the Miami Heat with them bringing in Damian Lillard. Then I've talked about the Boston Celtics. They brought in Kristaps Porzingis, and they also gave Jaylen Brown the max contract. Then I've also talked about the Bucks. They hired a new coach. We expect them to be better. Let's also not forget about the 76ers. They have Joel Embiid, who's definitely one of the best players in the NBA right now. They also hired a new coach, Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is a champion, and he's a better coach than Doc Rivers. Way better than Doc Rivers in terms of making adjustments. But for them, they still have a lot to figure out, because James Harden wants to be traded. We just have to wait and see. I can confidently say that the best three teams next season in the East are the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, and the Bucks. I'd love to see what you think about this, so please drop a comment. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you.